Good morning. Good morning. We made it all week. We made it all week, baby. We made it all week. Excuse me. We made it all week. What's happening with you this morning, SunSlapper? How you doing? I hope you've had a phenomenal week. I know I have. I know I've been watching things happen around me that's been simply amazing. And again, thank you so much for growing the community. I'm telling you, you guys are on fire. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the confirmations. Thank you for just hanging in there with your boy. Hanging in there with me, man. Hanging in there with me. If you haven't been over to Mr. Trust the Process, go over there, like, share, subscribe. Please do so. Go over to Trust in the Process Facebook page. If you haven't been over there, there's some content over there for you too. Leave some comments, man. Those comments, the constructive criticism, the tips that y'all been giving is making us better. It is growing us. It is helping us. It is helping us a lot. It is helping us a lot. And don't forget to follow your boy on Instagram. Listen, before we get started into our 5 to 15 minutes, let's just call it our 15-minute segment of SunSlappers before, we getting you started, getting you electrified, getting your day started, getting you some things to ponder on, some thoughts, giving you some information, getting your juices flowing in a positive fashion, setting your day, setting the patterns of your life. Listen, I want to, Megan Ashley had on Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell, and I did it in the last episode and hope you went over there and followed them. I hope you went over to their pages and subscribed and checked them out. But she was talking about something. She has a infomercial with Better Health. And I just wanted to drop this in real quick. And I want you to listen up to what she's offering and why she's partnering them. But then more so just what she's saying, right? What she's saying, and I don't want to give it away, but just what she's saying, and you need to partake.
Better help. What's something that tempts to scare you? We all have something that tempts to frighten us. Listen, no matter how big or small it is, for me, one of my biggest temptations to be fearful is a fear of not being a good mom. And then a small temptation to be fearful that might be kind of silly is a fear or a temptation to be fearful of tripping in front of like a bunch of people and embarrassing myself. Even though it's spooky season right now, let's have a little transparency about what really tempts to scare us, including those temptations and fears that don't involve zombies or ghosts. Therapy is a great tool for facing your fears and finding ways to overcome them, because sometimes the scariest thing is not facing the fears in the first place and holding ourselves back from true freedom. Listen, I started therapy in 2023 and it was life-changing. It changed my life. I had to address some really hard things about myself, but it opened me up to really addressing the things that are holding me back in life, and it brought in a new freedom so that I could really walk in my purpose and be who I was really meant to be. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Find your social sweet spot with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/totality today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/totality. All right, guys, back to the show.
So listen, I wanted to share that. Sometimes people can say things better than you, right? And when I first got into this YouTube space, right, becoming a YouTuber and just in the podcasting space, there were so many wonderful people like a Megan Ashley that, I gathered some information from. There are countless YouTube people that spoke to me directly that helped me. Everybody understands clearly how big of a impact Dr. Eric Thomas has had on what I do and how I move and just thinking processes, right? I had to put myself in environments with people that were in places that I wanted to be, and that they were in spaces that I wanted to go. And so for me, that's very, very important. And so when I came across this, the interview with Philip Anthony Mitchell and Megan Ashley, I was like, there were so many things in that interview that was so impactful that I'm like, hey, listen, I got to share that in my community. I got to share that with folks that, that may need it or may be inspired to, do something different. Do something different in their lives. And so again, get over to, she has about 316,000 subscribers, right? Like, so I need, if there's something that's touched you or put you in a place where somebody who need it, like, share, subscribe it. But hey, go over to Megan Ashley page, check her out. She was very transparent in that moment about therapy. I have a therapist. The friends that I've affiliate myself with now, they have therapists. Like, it's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I need somebody to talk to and walk through this thing with me. And so with that being said, listen, and you saw the title, you better than this. You better than what you putting out. And this leads to, okay, here we go. This leads to what we do here on SunSlappers, baby, how we set our day, right? This what leads to this. Look, never be a prisoner of your past. It was just a lesson, not a life sentence. Not a life sentence. Man, when I tell you so many people are hurting right now off of things that they did in their past, at the mistakes that they made in their past, and folks are trying to really hold you to that, really try to, because that's where they see you at, that's what they identify you as, and that's like, hey, listen, and then you absorb it and say, you know what, yeah, I did do that. And even though y'all went through the exchange and pleasantries of just, saying you sorry and walking through it and forgiveness and things of that nature, you still hold on to it. You can't give the next person a better chance of loving you the way that you need to be loved, because you still looking at the lessons that, that you had to learn from the mistakes that you made in the past. Everybody has made mistakes. Everybody, there's not one person that I know that has not made mistakes, but they do not, what separates a lot of individuals, good individuals, people who are just doing some miraculous things, not just within the kingdom, within life, with just how they feel about people, is that they do not let their past bog them down. Just one thing about me is that I don't have regrets. I will not allow my past to hold me up. I watched what that did to my family members. I watched what it did to some of my friends. And you do not allow yourself to be in that space. Pat yourself on the back when it's time to pat yourself on the back. Do the small victories. Get the small wins. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate them every single day. If you got to do it again, you keep telling yourself, hey, listen, I overcame that. I'm not that same person anymore. I don't have to be that same person anymore. I'm not doing what I used to do. Be grateful in those moments and in those times that you had that going on, that you have moved past, that you know that you've grown, that you know that you've matured, that you know that you've done some things that's right. If nobody else is clapping for you, man, you got to clap for yourself. You understand that? You got to clap for yourself. And then get around some people that that's celebrating you. Listen, I spent a lot of time in a small town, right? Like living there, doing a lot of things there, like trying to be impact. I come from a big city. I come from Detroit. I'm an East, and I say it all day. I come from the greatest high school in the country. I throw that up in your face in a minute. I spent some times in some small towns throughout my career. Charleston, West Virginia, Kansas City, you know what I'm saying? Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. They ain't too small. Pontiac, Michigan was probably the smallest place I ever lived in for a long time, and had residency, established some things. And one thing about small towns is some people, they ain't leaving it. They ain't leaving, and they want you to leave so they can continue to perpetuate the false things about you, so it makes them look good and feel good. But let me tell you something. You can live in a small town and don't have a small mind. So what you have to do is, if you love the place that you at, if you in that space, I love Pontiac, Michigan. Nobody is going to run me out of Pontiac, Michigan, period. But I don't have to put myself in the space of some of the small-minded people, because everybody see what you do. Everybody have seen what you did, seen mistakes, things of that nature. They want to hold on to them and criticize it too. But you know what you do? You don't have to hold on to them. Again, pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back that you are not stuck in that space where you got to be a hater. Pat yourself on the back for that, man. Pat yourself on the back for that. Listen, here we go. We're going to go with this one, which I think is, you got to understand that this is hard work. This is hard work. This is a lot of work. A lot of work goes into changing. A lot of work goes into maturing, being mature. Being mature goes into a lot of hard work. It's a lot of you versus you. It's a lot of, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I got to change that. I got to correct that. If you see certain things that's happening in your life and you see certain things that you don't want it the way to go, then you got to correct that. You got to look at you. You got to be like, hey, listen, man, you got to get yourself together. Okay, yeah, you was a little bit too aggressive over here. Have some compassion. You got to look yourself like this, because when you're looking at yourself like this, you're not worried about who's looking around you. Trust me when I tell you that. I've had cameras. I've been in the spotlight all my life. All my life. You get used to it. You get used to being in the fishbowl. And I told y'all, this is not for the weak. This is not for the people who just want to make you feel good. This ain't the feel good, podcast. This ain't, where you come in and just, I just want to get a good insight on. No, this is for the people who want to change, that you know that you have a purpose, that you working through the process. You're in your purpose and you working through the process because you want to find your assignment. I know who I'm called to speak to. I know who I am led to speak to. I know the type of leader that I am. I understand the effectiveness that I have when I walk into a room. And what I'm going to that room specifically to change something, to do something, to help, to create, to serve. So, like, I know. And 9 times out of 10, before I sit down at that table, I understand what my assignment is for that moment. And I ain't leaving until I get that done. You got to have a self-will, a self-determination, and that comes from this. You got to make sure you put this in your mind. Don't let nobody take this from you. Number 2 today. It's not luck. It's called hard work. Early mornings, late nights, and sacrificing short-term thrills for long-term gains. This McDonald generation that got y'all messed up. Again, it's not luck. It's called hard work, early mornings, late nights, and sacrificing short-term thrills for long-term gains. You want to get it? You want to get after it? You want to do something different? Look delayed gratification up. You want to be better? You want to get out that small-mindedness? You want to get out that small friends? Look up delayed gratification. Because a hater is only somebody who needs an instant gratification every time. They gotta be in front every single time. They gotta get something every single time. And I have a better understanding of haters now. I have a better understanding. So I don't want to become one. See, there's nothing wrong. See, you gotta identify the things that's coming at you. It take a lot of work to get to this space. It took a lot of work to do this podcast. It took a lot of work to understand and talk in front of a camera when ain't nobody else in the room but you, and hoping that somebody tuning in just to listen to you, and praying that what you're saying, that you know that it's supposed to be out in the world. It's sacrifice that. There's a certain level of commitment that you have to have, because everybody can't do what you doing how you do it. Yeah, people say, oh, market's saturated. This is people doing this, people doing it, but they don't do it like you do it. They don't have what you have. They don't understand the levels that it take to get to where you at. I study systems. I study the things that I'm in. And then I go out and I try to execute what I know. And then if it comes out to be wrong, I take it, I internalize it, I look at it again, I make the correction. There are people out here, because they have titles, now they chasing positions. They don't care how they destroy the position that they were in prior to. They haven't evaluated themselves. They haven't looked at themselves. They haven't looked at what they've done, the destruction that they left behind. They don't know if they helped somebody or not, but because they have these certain titles, now they're looking for positions. And you got to put yourself into the front row of the fact of saying that you don't want to be like anybody else. You want to be yourself. So that's what SunSlappers is. I done went 2 minutes over, man. Y'all done got me so hyped. I'm so ready for the weekend, but I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow we got a Trust in the Process episode. Oh my God, that's going to be bananas. That is going to be bananas, right? I got something we got some things to talk about tomorrow. We got some things to talk about. But man, God bless y'all, man. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all, what you're doing, how you're doing it. And if you find yourself in a space where you like, hey, you know, I think this is something that I can get with. I think this is something I can get with. Listen, go over to Mr. Trust the Process, like, share, and subscribe. Listen, go over to Trust in the Process on Facebook. Again, tomorrow, we going live, Trust in the Process. Tomorrow, we going live, Trust in the Process. When you see this come up, click, click, let's go. Let's go. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for help growing us. I appreciate you, man. This is a great day. It's a great Friday. Get active, get involved. There's nobody like you. Work on you. Because we all better together, baby. We are all better together. And some of us are not in the same space, and it's okay to keep your distance. But it all works for your good. And he ain't gonna withhold no good thing from you. Peace.